Hey guys, welcome to Ham Radio with K0PIR. I've been using a radio control macro with Digital Master 780. And what that allows me to do is quickly switch from phone settings to digital settings on my transceiver, both for the receiver and transmitter. Let me show you how I do it. And hey, if you haven't already, please visit my website www.k0pir.us. I've got a ton of information on the Icom 7300 and Icom 7610. Also radio control programs and logging programs. Okay, let me show you what I've got here. One of the questions I've been asked is when I go from sideband to digital modes, how do I set up my receiver and transmitter? Do I use the radio? Do I use software? Because there are certain settings that you use in sideband phone that you don't use in digital modes. I use PSK31 a lot. I use WSJTX, that software program, quite a bit. And going from sideband to digital modes requires a little bit of intervention either on the radio or in your software. Well, I've got a real quick way to do it with Ham Radio Deluxe Digital Master 780. I've got a button here and you'll see it. It's on this toolbar and I've got it named Digital Preset. There's also one down here. I've been listening to a sideband phone net on 3973 and my transceiver's set up for listening and transmitting on that frequency. But if I want to jump to 40 meters and go to PSK31, I can click on my toolbar, select the frequency, and you'll see my radio changes over to the correct frequency, but I'm still on lower sideband mode. And normally I could just go to the radio and hit a memory or make the changes manually, and it doesn't take very long to do that. I'm used to doing it. But a quick way to do it is by using a radio control macro in Digital Master 780. And if I hover over this digital preset button, it shows that it's going to put it in USB mode, data on, filter 1, and so on. So now that I'm on the right frequency, all I have to do is click this button. And when I do that, it goes ahead and puts me in the correct mode. Data's on, AGC is fast, noise reduction, noise blinkers off, notch filters off, just the way that I want it for PSK31. So let me show you how I set this up in Digital Master 780. It is in the macros. I'm going to click on this down arrow and go to the Macros Manager. And I do have a video out on backing these macro sets up and also being able to recover when you have a loss of information or a loss of the macros. I'll put a link in the top right hand corner to that video. So let's take a look at a macro, radio control macro. And down here at the bottom I have this selected radio control. And for PSK, I'm on this macro set, PSK, and this is the macro. So if I wanted to create one, I would go to the macro set that I want, and let's say I've already got one for RIDI. I'm going to go ahead and just delete this one. And we will go ahead and set this up. I'm going to click OK to save it. And then I'm going to go back into it. Okay, it's gone. So let's set up one for RIDI. And it's basically going to be the same as the one for PSK31. To create it, just click on New. Type in your name, the title of it. And I'm just going to tab over. I'm going to put this in a group, the various group. And then on the right hand side I can enable by mode. And all of these are selected right now. I don't really want it in CW, and I don't really want it in voice. So what we want to do is take a look at the options, and when we click on radio control, you'll see these disappear because we're going to use a radio control. It prompts me, click yes, those disappear. Now this is closed right now, and if I click connect, it connects, and we are on the 40 meter PSK frequency, and everything is ready to go, but the definition doesn't have the commands in it. It just has radio control. It just entered in that, but we need to set it up and tell it what we want. So we have to go in and select these. USB, and you'll see that it enters the command on, filter 1, AGC fast, off, off. We don't need to mess with that. We do want the antenna tuner on. I use it, so I'm going to turn it off and then turn it back on, and you'll see that it enters it as on. I don't have to touch the tune. I want noise reduction, noise blanker, and notch filter off, and they're off right now, but I need to go in and turn it on and turn it off. Turn it on, turn it off. I haven't found a really better way to do this, but I only have to do this one time. I want the monitor on. It's on right now. I have to turn it off and then turn it back on. And for the receiver, I usually want my gain, right around in there. So I do need to move these sliders. My power level, usually about right there. LCD brightness. And my monitor gain, I like to be able to hear the transmission sometimes, so the monitor's on and the monitor gain's turned up a little bit. And if we look over here in the definition, we see all the settings that we just made. Let me point out that I'm setting this up for RTTY, and I'm not using RTTY FSK right now. This is being set up for RTTY AFSK. Also, if you don't have this window, this radio control, I have another video out on setting up DM780 and this radio control pane. But quickly, let me just show you, if you are missing a button, a drop down, or a slider, just click on the options here, and you should be connected. I'm already connected. I can add buttons, drop downs, and sliders right here. If I'm missing one that I want, say you want to add your RF power, just click on one of the free ones and add the slider that you want. I don't need to add anything, so I'm just going to hit cancel. The same with the drop downs and the buttons. If you have something that's missing, just go ahead and add it and then click save. And this is the same window that I have in DM780, my radio control pane. It's the same window. It's this window here, my Icom IC7300. The same radio controls are here. And to save it, I'll click OK. It puts it down here at the bottom, and if I look at this toolbar, this is the way my toolbar is going to look for RTTY, and that's okay. I think I'm going to leave it at the end right there. So the radio control is selected. I can click OK, and that will save this macro set. Alright, and we have it in our toolbar. We also have it down here. So let me put the radio back in a phone settings, single sideband phone, and then we'll see if this works. Okay, now this is the way I usually have it set up for listening to this net on 3973. On lower sideband, data's off, the AGC is on mid, and preamp's off, attenuator's off. I'm on the Icom 7300. I'm using noise reduction, noise blanker, notch, I don't have a monitor on. My power level is usually at about 50 because I run an amplifier. So this is the way that I have it set up when I'm listening to the Breakfast Club in the morning. Now if I want to go over to a RTTY frequency and start operating, maybe see if anybody's on, I'll select RTTY from over here, then go over to 80 meters, the little drop down, select it. Now I'm on the right frequency, or there's nobody on right now, but I am on the right frequency. I can tune up and down and listen for RTTY signals, but the radio is still not set up right. So we'll just use the digital preset, click on it, and there we go. Upper sideband, data on, AGC fast. I can scroll up and down and look for RTTY signals. So that's the way to do it. Okay, well that does it for the radio control macro. You know, a lot of people have been asking about CW decoding and sending with DM780, and I think I'm going to do a video on that. The trick to sending CW consistently and without problems is to use the right cable. So I hope you find this informative and useful. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Also tell your friends. 73 and good DX.